Hi everyone, my name is Derek Chisholm. I am the founder of TinkerForge.ai, which is a brainchild that is only about 5 weeks old. And I have started on this page for a reason, because when I started using coding assistants for the first time, it literally, the very first usage changed everything fundamentally about how I think about coding, and I no longer think of it as a solo activity. It can definitely, in your IDE, this is VS Code, for anyone who's not familiar, you can use this chatbot over here to do almost anything you want, and it will provide elegant solutions. It'll provide some terrible solutions, but overall it is a very good tool that has changed my mind on coding in general. So TinkerForge is an AI research firm because I am very passionate about integrating artificial intelligence with humans. And it is very imperfect at the current stage. So I really want to help it integrate correctly by making sure things go safely with AI alignment. If you don't know that topic, I'll be talking about that a bunch. And I really advocate going to a website called lesswrong.com, which is a wonderful place full of wonderful people. And it's thinking about societal impact, mainly from this huge based on the sequences, as they say here, but it's on this huge base of knowledge, and you could wander this website for your entire life, I'm sure. So TinkerForge was born out of the idea that AI has imperfectly appeared, and we will never go back from this point. We've unleashed it. The LLMs are enabling our lives, and here we are. So sorry, this was kind of an introduction to myself, and I'm coming out. I'm a long-term. I've been in the workforce for about 15 years. I made a crazy shift about 5 years ago to software engineering, and now I'm going to try and make a crazy shift into AI research, and here we are. So today I wanted to show you one of my new, I'm going to call them tinkerings. This is all AI generated. I don't know if I've mentioned that already. So all these little animations, although I am a user interface engineer and I know how to make this stuff, I just piped it through ChatBot. And actually, in my integrated development environment, which is VS Code for anyone that doesn't know, you have this mode called agent mode, and it will write the code for you and do some pretty awesome stuff, but it's also pretty terrible at what it does. So that's part of that imperfection that I was talking about, and it's really started to come along, but it's not quite to the point where you can build anything just by speaking it in English. So what I've done, and what I'd like to showcase, is my ChatBot To-Go repository. And ChatBot To-Go is just a 4-hour project. It did not take me that long at all to build a chatbot. And what I've done in my code is and I say what I've done, I guess it is technically my work. I prompted my way to this. What I've done is I've created a backend that uses FastAPI. It has all these awesome preprocessors and post-processors for the prompts that you input, or you're prompting the LLM. This API code I don't care about because it's public already, and this is Gemini through Google. So what I've done is I will take a similar, this is me prompting. If I upload this, if I do this, can I get something? And it'll process my prompt and give me back this response. So we have pre and post processors, and this is our provider, is our Google provider. So this is my back end. My front end, my user interface, is a VS Code VS Code. It is VueJS framework code, and we have a UI element here that I'm going to show you as well. So let me boot up my backend. Oh, it's already booted up, but I will show you exactly what you can do. I have a README which is just translates to this right here. This is going to get updated because this is wrong right now. Sorry, guys. But essentially, all I have to do, and once I update this on the repo, you can come here. This is public. You can use it to your heart's content. You can download my repo and start doing your own chatbotting if you'd like. So I'm going to start up my backend. This is important. This is what boots up the connection to the large language model. And then I'll do the same thing over here. I'm now in the front end over here, and I need to boot up my connection to the user interface. So I start a server here. I start a server over here. We have 2 running, and that is going to yield this lovely box of nothing. This again is all styled by the AI chatbot that I used at the time, which was a combination of Claude Code, Claude Opus 4.1, to do what I like to call incremental prompting. And the reason I chose incremental prompting is because this would be a very large bit of context for an LLM to ingest and get perfectly right, because LLMs by themselves are nothing more than a program. So, sorry, my phone just vibrated. So it's trying to guess. It's a program that guesses the next word from a series of words. So if I say create a monorepo, it might try to guess project. Create a monorepo, it might guess structure. It might guess create a monorepo for. It has no idea what the next one's going to be. But every word gives it greater insight into exactly what is going on spatially, and allows it to return a response in kind that most appropriately answers all of the context. And so an LLM is much more specialized, and specialized is not the word. An LLM is much more has much higher quality when it is narrowly focused. So using less words produces higher quality outputs. So this incremental approach really yielded some high quality code that I turned around and I piped it through into my Copilot agent over here, which yielded this huge code base. And it looks really impressive, and in parts it is really impressive. But I generated none of the code. I essentially asked it to produce this code and even asked it to debug itself in some instances. This Google provider script right here, this took forever. It doesn't look like much, but it took forever to figure out how to get the LLM to work. But that's not the point of this video. This video is to show you how easy it could be for anyone to make a chatbot, just as kind of a curiosity. So this looks like a chatbot. Not much going on, but Gemini is running now because we've done everything. Hey Gemini, how you doing? I'm a large language model trained by Google. I don't have feelings. Well, that's great. So you can see it does work. It looks impressive-ish. It's not exactly styled the way I want, but the point of this was just to be quick and to show you how easy it was to do in 4 hours. And you know, this huge code base over here would have taken days, weeks, more than that. End-to-end testing. I mean, it's extremely robust and impressive as long as you have the software engineering knowledge to debug things and to give your chatbot in agent mode very specific instructions. Hey, debug this way. all along the way. So when you see things like Replit.com or Base44 saying that you can create something from nothing, they're not wrong, but what I find happens as I use these things is that you will get hollowed out functionality. So if you're not a coder or you don't give it really explicit instructions, it might make a really nice, like, count tokens. These are bad examples, but you might give it something like, hey, write me a Fibonacci sequence, which has a very specific formula. And it might write something like, oops, oh boy, what have I done? It might write something like return true, just to appease you, because LLMs, large language models, have a tendency to be sycophants. And whether or not you know it, they're always trying to please you. And the easiest way to do that is to make it seem like they're doing everything right. Which return true makes it look like, hey, look, we got this answer true. Do you like this? Yes, of course you do. But again, I'm digressing a little bit. What I've essentially done here is I've taken a user interface and I can take my text and I can send it to the LLM and it will do whatever I want it to. So now I can say, write a story about a Pokémon dragon in Minecraft. And it's going to look really cool because it's going to, oh, look, it's thinking, yay. And actually what's happening right now is it's going to go back and it's going to get the entire response in one go. But I'm going to show you what the bots are actually doing. See this cool feature where it goes line by line and does this? This is an animation. So to make it look like the chatbot is actually working, and it does look like it's working, to be fair, it will stream this response in a way that is just appealing in general. So look at that. We've got this awesome Pokemon Dragon Minecraft story. My goodness, it just keeps going and going, which is awesome. Another thing I'm going to show you that is actually slightly innovative, because if you know what you're doing, you can take your ideas and actually implement them, is the idea of context. So if you've ever used, I'll go back to this, if you've ever used Claude and you are trying to give it something, you can attach things and you can set it to do different things. My version is not the traditional way of doing this. So context typically gets added to the beginning of your prompt. So if I said, in my case, my solution to context is to prepend all the information from the file and say, hey, what is my resume about? Based on this, you're John Doe, a software engineer. Your experience is, nothing. And you can actually take multiple files. So I have 6 files. Give me a synopsis of all these files. Are they related? And let's just see what it says, because I have no idea. Based on here's a synopsis. They include, I have a thesis. In essence, these files are professional life, technical work, branding, but cool, thank you. But you can see how this might be more powerful if you were to come in and use your own files and ask Gemini, in this case, because that's our large language model, what are these all about? Or can you summarize all of these documents that I received and give me a synopsis if you were a manager or something. So it's a very powerful way to get some advice from a large language model if you need to. Another cool thing is give me a Python function to add 2 plus 2. Boom. Let's see what this does. Looks like your request. Oh, I did it again. So this is not perfect. I still have all my context selected. So it wants to use the context because actually it's saying there's 6 files before you give me a Python function. So I have to get rid of this so that there's no context, and I'll do it again. Give me a Python function. Hopefully it went away. Here's a Python function. And there it goes. Function adds 2 numbers. How to use it. Explanation. All this cool stuff. Great, great, great. And you can even copy it, because that's what I've decided. That's what I've decided to do here. Copied. Cool. So you can see it copies perfectly. This was all implemented in 4 hours. So this was just to wow you in some ways, and introduce you to the idea that coding assistants are very real and very helpful if you know exactly what you're doing. But don't expect it to be your development team unless you have some coding knowledge, because what I'll essentially say is these coding assistants allow you to become a software engineering manager. You immediately are just elevated to the point where you can outsource what you need to get done to other people. So if you know what you're doing, and you know some of the technical, not even all of the technical, or even the languages, you can. This is almost entirely language agnostic, because you can do this in JavaScript, TypeScript. You can do it in Python, in C++. Obviously, the web is PHP and HTML, but your backend can be anything you want it to be. So don't expect the world from these Replit.coms and Base44s unless you have some know-how. So that was really my first introduction. I wanted to show you how easy it is to kind of create it. You can grab this repo if you want at TinkerForge.ai/ChatBot To-Go. It's really not overly impressive, so if anyone does want to work on it, I'm welcome to them doing pull requests and adding on to this, because we could refine it and make it a thing, or we could just leave it out here forever as just kind of a novelty. My website is TinkerForge.ai, and this was all AI generated as well, as I said before, and I'm going to continue to show experiments, blogs, and things I find interesting, show you my tinkerings that are going on, and there are other ways to support us. We are doing research in embodied agents, specifically trying to solve the AI alignment problem. So I accept hardware donations. I don't really need cash. I need hardware. That's what the cash translates to. But I will also accept cash. So there's cash, there's even Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, because AI is awesome and it decided these are the avenues I should go. So again, my name's Derek Chisholm. I hope you enjoyed this video, and welcome to my new passion. So thanks so much, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.